Just want to take a little peek here at Black Diamond Trader. I haven't covered this for a little while either. For me, day trading people like to day trade forex. For me, when you're looking at the smaller pip accumulation and spread cost, just spread in general, I don't see a point in scalping the spot market. Futures may be a little bit different, but I'm not a scalper anyway. So I prefer higher time frames on virtually every single pair. You can certainly trade this Black Diamond Trader on lower time frames. There's just so many moves back and forth, whippy kind of price action. And if you're a scalper, all the power to you. I just find for myself, this is not for me. So I'm going to look at the Euro US dollar daily chart. Very popular currency pair. Not necessarily the best currency pair, but it's, nonetheless, it's a pretty popular pair. So remember what we talk about. We have this market sentiment in here. I don't really look at that too much, this area here. This, according to the document that comes with this software, that's only really when the market's the faster sessions, I guess I want to say. I'm not too sure what word I was looking for there. I don't really use that. Just the first two, the trend and trend strength. For me, is good enough. So if I just close this up a little bit so I have to take a look at that. So let's take a look what we have here. We come in, we have some short trades setting up here. I think I've covered this in an earlier video. So I'm going to just start around April. And this is what we got. So we got April. You can see in this area down here, we are up and down below the blue line, the solid blue line, which is adjustable. These are just the default values. And you don't want to take a trade unless these are above this blue line, showing you some trend strength. So if you look at the short trade right here, it's below the blue line. You wouldn't short, even though you'd get some pips out of it. And you got a short trade here. And now here's the thing: is you don't just trade any system blindly ever. You can see that it's above the blue line, but look what's happening here. We've come into this trade. We've got this low down here, a higher high than this high. All right, so when price is making a downtrend, we don't really want to see a higher high anywhere. So let's just take a look what we have. We haven't broken this low, even though we get a setup to go short right here. That's valid. Would you take this trade? Well, what are we not doing? We haven't really put in a lower low lower than this low. You could still trade it, but look what you're coming into right here anyhow. So you can look at this, you can say, okay, well, if I take this trade, I'm running into a turning point right here, and just below it, another turning point. So if you did take this trade, according to the way the manual says, which is to set limit orders right here, which I don't do. For me, it's stop orders. So in this would be a sell stop order just below the low, or the low of this. So I didn't trade this, so I'm not going to say I did. But all my videos are pretty consistent here, so I'm not just, riffing as I go. So I wouldn't have got triggered in this trade. If you did it what the manual says, you would have got taken in the trade right here, and you would have got promptly stopped out. So that's not how I trade it. I prefer stop orders. Using this particular strategy, I have different ways to trade. Anyhow, so we got this long setup here. We're still below. Oh, what happened there? We're still below. The trend is changing here. No trade. Now here's a good setup. Look at this. So we've got this area here, which is a swing high, right? Could have acted as resistance. We get chopping around, but price is staying above it. That's always a good sign. We get this long entry right here. You can see everything is pointing to the upside, and you get on the trade in a stop order. Or if you're taking, if you're using limit orders, you would have got in around here. For me, I want to see momentum going in my direction. So if I got in this trade here, which I did not, the trade did rally for 339 pips. Not a bad trade. And this is, so you'd be sitting on this one from May 1st, depending on where you took it out. You can use measured moves. You can use different ways to grab your profit targets, or you could just use price action, or you can use previous market structure. Like what we have over here. Well, let's take a look. If I was to use previous market structure, I would look up in here. So I have these areas right through here, but we've already passed these areas, right? Next big area, well, this could be one, but we've got this spike here. This is where all the mess is up in here. So I would go into this area right here. And that's where price eventually does run into anyhow, right into this area right here and stops. So you can use that. There's different ways you can take your profits using this. You can even trail it up each swing. So my stop would go here. So my stop is here. Little red mark, is this a swing to you? Obviously, you're going to have to decide that according to your trade plan. A low here, breaks above, and my stop goes here. Price pulls back down, pops up again. I put my stop here. And if I did it that way, you're looking at 214. If you use structure, you get a little bit more juice on that trade. Now, what I want to show now is because we're using a system like this, we're not using price action as the mainstay of this strategy. You got to be careful of certain things. See this big, let me just get my pointer here, arrow. This big red juicy candle. So we had you can see down here, trend is up. Trend strength is up to the upside, right? All the way through here. It's up, 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 up. And then you get this collapse right here. Well, what happens like with this is because it's indicator based, these are going to take some time to catch up, right? So you're not going to catch this move unless, of course, you're a price action trader and on lower time frames you might have seen something there that you liked. But then we have these short setups. But what's going to happen here is we came from a strong uptrend and now we're going down. So you can see there's no strength in through here. This is like a one-day move, right? And then we get this flag up here. These are tradable flags. And, just as an aside here, if you're into price action trading and you get these big moves down and you get these little flag moves up, you can generally trade these to the downside. Let me just see if this is a measured move. You see this move here? Actually, I can't move that. Sorry, I'm got sidetracked here, but that happens. So you got this measured move from here to here, right? Let me just move that over if I can. From here, so it didn't quite get there. That's fine. Measured moves give you some sort of price target. So if you take this trade here, you can't because the trend strength is weak. Then we have this short move here, but now we've already given up, virtually 200 pips. Are you going to short here? Well, let's take a look. We've got price making our high, low, lower high, lower low, downtrend, right? And then we've got our lower high here. Is it tradable? Sure, running into this. So you got to be careful of that as well. Just draw a normal trend line. We broke the trend line. Prices, the trend is changing. So this is where you can also include just basic structure and basic technical analysis. So in this whole trade here, the only tradable move is here, but then you have to understand the context of what we're trading into, which is this low here, which only gives you still about 100 pips, roughly, that you get to juggle. And if you did short here, you were up about 75 pips. And then when you're seeing price, you can see the open here, and then the close. It doesn't close on its lows. You may have been thinking to yourself, let's ratchet down our stop. Because if you get this kind of move and it breaks this low, what you don't really want to see is price trading back up inside. That is not conducive to a down move. And one thing I want to cover here, this is the pound US. I've dropped down to an hourly chart. I usually stick to the well-known and the more tradable pairs. It doesn't matter whatever strategy you're using. You cannot ignore this type of price action. Yes, trend is up, trend strength is up, trend is up, but look what we've got. Price isn't really doing much. And of course, you don't know until about here that price is not doing too much. When it comes down here, it looks fine, right? Big move up, puts in a swing here, starts to move up again. We don't know. If we go everything on this side here, we don't know what's going to happen next. You never do in trading, right? But when you see something like that, is this long a trade? This long is a trade, right? It's a tradable move. And eventually does go into profit. But then look what you're looking at. You got this yellow dot, which means confusion, step away. And that's what you do. But why is that confusion there? Well, let's take a look. Market sentiment is red, right? That's why this yellow dot showed up, because not everything was green, right? And what time is this at? It's 9 o'clock at night, right? We're looking, I'm in New York time, so you're looking at the Asian session here. So you get these little ranges going on. So maybe you wouldn't have traded this anyhow, right? It's clearly not a tradable move. It's a range, right? So let's just go into some times when we would be trading. So we can, this whole area right here, it's tradable. Let's forget that big move up. But look, this is all downtrend, right? This is where it gets difficult. And this is why you get all these whippy moves. Now we drop up to the daily chart. It looks a little bit different, right? It looks a little bit different. Your eyes are not all confused. You can actually see in better detail what's going on. And again, here we got that move again we talked about. You got price ranging up here, more or less. Big, strong drop, right? And then what comes next? Our flag, right? And then a drop. If you understand chart patterns and just, it's how the market is working. When we get these big moves down and you get like a dragging flag here, right? It's slow, right? There's no strength in this pullback. It doesn't hurt to position for this move. Even though we're below the blue line, you could have been in this trade, ratcheting, because you didn't get triggered here. Let me just move this bigger. Where are we here? You could have just, once you had this short trade set up, you're thinking, okay, well, I can't take it because I'm below the blue line. But looking at price action, I had this big wrong thing there. I have this big candle, which look what it did. It wiped out this low, these lows here, and basically bounced off of this area right here, right? That's a lot of pressure in that candle. So then I get this flag formation. Okay, I'm getting this flag. And then I get a short setup, even though this is not showing me that I can take this trade, because I'm aware of price patterns. Why not get a position inside of this? Right? I'm using a stop order. So at least if I do get triggered in, I'll get some momentum in my direction. Whether it works out or not, so, we don't know. So I just keep moving my price up. And then when this finally happens, you're already in this trade. And if you did that, this dropped for 256 pips, 300 pips down here. Now you have to decide, okay, well, where do I get out? Well, let's see. Price slams through here, so it takes out this low right here is gone. Price rallies up to it, breaks through, closes back inside, breaks through, breaks through, break through. No strong close up on the upside of this here. Really no reason to get out yet, right? Then we break through here. And this here might go on, okay, well, wait a second. It breaks through, and now we've closed up inside. So maybe you get out here, however you're going to trade it. But what my point is that you can take a strategy such as Black Diamond Trader like this, involve yourself with chart patterns, it's just the basic elements of technical analysis, and overlap the two. And then you might have yourself a pretty darn good trading system. Anyways, click below, sign up, check it out. If you don't like it, cancel it. But give her a go. Thanks for watching.